Today on Vibes, I have a very interesting guest. We have a first for Vibes Cuisine. We have an author with us, and of course, we've got great food. Stay tuned and you'll get to see us getting ready to rock and roll in the kitchen.
It's time for the Caribbean cooking show with international flavor, Vibes Cuisine.
Today on Vibes Cuisine, we offer food for your mind. Filmmaker, journalist, and author Barbara Blake Hanna joins us to share her latest book. It's an autobiography of her growth in self-awareness and self-pride while living in London, England during the swinging 60s. She's also sharing 2 favorite recipes. A potato bake she usually prepares with fish fillet, but we're substituting our favorite best dressed chicken breast. And also, thanks to Barbara, we've got a wonderfully simple tomato and onion salad. So without delay, let's get cooking in the Vibes kitchen.
So everybody, today, as I said earlier, a first for Vibes Cuisine, we have an author. We have Barbara Blake Hanna. Barbara, thank you for coming.
Wow, it's my pleasure. I mean, I watch your show all the time, make my mouth water in the evening.
Oh, thank you very much. And your book that you are here to talk about, it is such a great read.
Thank you.
And you know what? I guess because I'm getting to speak to you a little bit before the program, and now everybody in Jamaica is going to hear you. Just the way how you speak, that's the way you write, which is so refreshing. It's you can tell that it's you actually have written this book.
I think that's really the only way to write, you know, from one's personal experience, just like how you talk. Well, that's the easiest way to write, let's say.
But it's so, like I said, it's refreshing and it's funny, it's witty, it's a great history.
Thank you.
I'm serious. It's a great history of your life, but you know, especially I want to encourage young women to read this book. It's such a great story for women. You were the first black journalist in England.
Yes, on television.
On television,
yes,
right.
Yes.
So tell me how that came about.
Well, I was working in PR, handling the PR for the Jamaica Tourist Board with a PR agency. And I was kind of bored with that, and I read that a new television station was starting. So I thought I'd apply for a job as a writer, and I did. And they said, come and do an audition, and I did. And next thing they called me and said, would you like a job? Of course, why not?
That is so cool. Well, we need to get to the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of our show today. So Barbara, this is a recipe that you developed for your guests?
Yes, and they enjoy it.
Great. Yeah. It's super simple. That's what I loved about it. And at Vibes Cuisine we have this little thing that we've coined. It's called the One Pot Wonder, where everything goes in. This has your carb, it has your veg, it has your protein. We're using great best dressed chicken breast, lean, and a little bit of cheese to give it some flavor, some gooiness. Mm-hmm. Tell us how you came up with this.
Well, I kind of like that one pot thing, when you have very small resources, putting everything together. I do it with fish as well, because we
nice.
eat chicken and fish.
Okay, you eat chicken as well?
Yes, many people think that Rastas don't.
Yeah, I was always I guess, I feel ignorant saying it, but I would have thought that most Rastafarians don't eat meat.
No, many of us do.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I would say Ethiopians, and I'm an Ethiopian Orthodox Christian. Orthodox eat raw red meat dipped in paprika.
Kind of like a steak tartare?
Exactly.
Okay, very interesting.
Because it comes from the time of warriors. The warriors couldn't cook while they were out there fighting, so they would eat raw meat. So the tradition is handed down, and when you go to a formal Ethiopian dinner, there's always a plate of raw red meat in the middle.
That's
and
very interesting.
Politely, you're supposed to have some.
Oh, that's
so some Rastas eat only ital without salt, and some don't even cook their food.
Yeah, I love raw food. Every once in a while, the difference is nice.
Well, my raw food is my salads.
Right. I love a good salad meal. Not just like a little side salad to have with me. I love a nice salad with nuts and dried cranberries and dressings. And I really like to play around with my different dressings and what you put on them.
I like to have lots of salads in the fridge so I can make a whole plate. Cucumber with yogurt.
Oh, nice.
Beetroot, always beetroot.
I think I'm coming to your house later.
You're welcome.
Coming up, more of Barbara's potato bake casserole.
This little piggy retired with Scotia Bridge. This little piggy did not Start your Scotia Bridge retirement plan today. Contact Scotia Insurance.
Now, more than ever, you can't afford to waste money. You have to make sure you get the best value for your money. With Best Dressed Chicken, one chicken goes a long way. Pound for pound, it's the best you can buy. Best Dressed Chicken, a Jamaican tradition of quality.
But you don't work here.
Sent this recipe and I said, you know, I like it. It's super simple. It has everything in it. I took the potatoes and I sliced them into 1/2 inch rounds and we're just going to brown them on each side. How did you come up with the idea to write this book about your very interesting life?
It had to be written, you know, because it was such a life experience. I really feel that the Creator Jah has given me a very unusual life that nobody else has ever experienced. I mean, I've met Saddam Hussein, I've been to Iraq, I've been to East Germany before the wall came down.
Wow.
I've been to Cuba several times. I've been to South Africa. But most of all, the most interesting part of my life was when I lived in England for the decade that was called the swinging 60s.
That must have been a fun time.
It was, because the hippies were happening, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Black is Beautiful, all of that was happening. And it impacted greatly on my life and the person that I was before I went to England and the person that I became as a result of it.
I wanted to just ask you, during that time, I mean, your book is called Growing Out, and in reading it, you know, you talk about, you know, your hair and how your perception of what is beautiful before. The same thing that you were just saying. How did you come up with the name for the book and how it really, I think it's, you know, the thing is, I'm almost hesitant that I don't want to say too much about the book because I want people to go out, buy it and read it because it is such a great read. It's one of those books that when you start reading it, you'll be up until like 3 o'clock in the morning and then you wake up at 5 before you got to take the kids to school and they're like, Mom, it's time to go to school. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's 7, I can't leave. It's that type of book. It's really a great read. So I'm, like I said, I want to just tell everybody, but this part, but I'm not going to do that. But I would like for you to go, because I thought that was actually a very funny story with the whole name of the book and how that came about.
Well, we're all really growing out. As we grow up, we're really growing outwards. It's like layers of an onion. But what was really one of the most difficult things in my life was to grow out my natural hair.
Okay.
Because I've been one of those women conditioned from birth to believe that my natural hair was not good.
Right.
It was bad hair.
Bad
you know?
hair, okay.
We went through all of that, you know, straightening, cold straightening, all of that, envying other people with pretty hair like yours. I'm sure that you were told you had to straighten yours as well, you know. We went through all of that as women of color. But what was really good for me was to grow it out because it was a mark of my blackness. What really happened to me in England was that I became black and proud of it. And beautiful at the end of the day, but black and proud. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
Right.
That was the mantra of the time. And I sat there watching James Brown doing that and he was my hero. And that was what it was, growing out my natural black self, not the artificial black English woman I'd been brought up to be. And my hair was the most manifest sign of that growing out. It was the time of Angela Davis and her afro.
Afro, yes.
She started the afro, you know, and hair meant something. Hair was a black revolutionary statement.
Okay.
So growing out was my black revolution.
So then how did the dreadlocks come into it? That's when
Well,
you
that
decided
was
to become...
after I grew out and I came to Jamaica, I came back home to discover, to continue traveling along that black path, which then Garvey was my signpost, and that led me straight to Rastafari.
Okay.
And my hair now is a mark of my religion more than anything else. It's a covenant of my religion, I would say.
Very interesting. And you are also a big foodie.
Yes.
Yes.
Love to eat.
Oh, a girl after my own heart. Well, I love to eat, I love to cook, I love to chat, and I love having interesting guests. And before the show is even over and the meal is even done, I'm inviting you to come back. And after, you know, the book has been out for a little while and people are, you know, there's more buzz around it, then we can come back and we can like really get into the nooks and crannies. I just like, you have the best stories.
We'll read the food bits in the book.
No, but you know, even like like I said, it's just, I guess it's your personality, and you're just so bubbly, and I don't want to embarrass you by telling everybody your age, right? But you have this youthful exuberance about you that is just so refreshing and it's just really nice.
Darling, all that is thanks to the Most High, Jah, Rastafari, to whom I give all
great.
praise and thanks.
And you're not a wrinkle on your face.
Darling, not I, trust me. Jah just did that, I'm blessed, we are all blessed. I'm blessed even to be here with you sharing this moment.
Thank
I
you.
can't believe I'm on your TV show.
Well, you have definitely been an inspiration to a lot of young journalists, a lot of young, I don't want to categorize a lot of young black journalists, but women as well. I mean, what you have done for, women in this industry is great, here and away. I mean, like I said, you're world renowned. Everybody knows about you.
Darling, it's just work that we had to do. And being a journalist doesn't pay you any money, So you're always asking yourself, why? Why did Jaja give me the talent to write and, force me to find ways to use it in order to earn a living? But then he gives you the kind of life that forces you to write about it. Mm-hmm. And then you realize, oh, I see why you did that, Jaja, So money becomes irrelevant, really, at the end of the day. It's all about, have I done anything that was worthwhile? Have I left anything behind that was good? And I think each of us asks ourselves that in life. And then we do what we feel answers the yes to that. You do your show in answer to that yes. I write my book. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. I tell you, I'm encouraging everybody to read the book because, like I said, it's a really good book. It's a great read. You can't put it down. Our potato slices.
How are we doing?
They're looking pretty good. Do you want me to brown them a little bit more?
I think you should, slightly make them cook so that they'll be soft when you put them down in the baking pan.
And then I want to just talk a little bit about how I prepared the chicken breast. All I did was I got a tray pack in the grocer's refrigerated section, and I just took 2 chicken breasts and I just sliced them nice and thin. I seasoned them with a little bit of salt and black pepper, and I grated some garlic on it.
That'd be nice.
Yes, and so when you grate the garlic, I like to press it. And I like to grate it because all the juice comes out and it gives it a lot of flavor, as opposed to cutting it. Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, but definitely when I'm seasoning meat, I love to do it like that. You would ask for plain white onions, which I did, and I just put them in rings. And we're just going to saute this with our chicken, and then we're just going to layer. It's just going to be like a beautiful casserole. We're going to layer the potatoes first, the chicken on top with the onions. We'll slice some tomatoes. We'll put some cheese, stick it under the broiler. Everything will pretty much be cooked, because once the chicken and the potatoes are done, and then we're just gonna let the cheese kind of melt, and then your yummy tomato salad. And I think tomatoes are really, the tomato salad I thought was a really nice touch, because if you remember late last year we had all of those terrible rains. Tomatoes were like $2.20, $2.50 at the market. This past Saturday I paid $40 a dozen for these, $40 per pound for these plummy tomatoes. So, we have to support our local farmers.
Can make a huge bowl of tomato salad.
Yes. I love tomatoes. And then I love when they're sweet and they're right. Oh gosh, how is this for brown?
Yes, that's nice. You can turn them all over.
Okay, great. And then we can put them in our little baking dish here. This is really easy. Like I said, super simple. This is actually a recipe, Barbara, that somebody can make ahead. Like if they were really crafty, they could do double. Freeze it, and then just stick it in the oven when you come home and you're kind of running. Yes. I love to have things in the fridge that are already prepared for that same reason. When I'm running late and traffic is really bad, I can just go ahead and take that out. I'm going to take my baking dish here, and these are browning quite nicely. Can I overlap them a little?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and I don't really want to take off too much. These are looking really nice.
You could do it in the morning before you go to work and the toppings on and grill it.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
Oven, yes.
Great. Now, you had said that this would be something very nice to do with fish.
Yes.
As well?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think I could try that. I have some fish in my freezer.
What's nice with the fish is dip it in egg and breadcrumbs first, and then that's even nicer.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, yes.
It's
a very versatile dish.
Yeah, and you can really make it your own. I love when I have a recipe and viewers, after they've tried it, they tell me the variations that they've done. Oh, well, I use sweet potato, or I tried fish, or different types of vegetables, whatever we have. I'm really trying very hard to use more in-season produce. That is my mantra for this year.
Sweet potato would be nice with this.
Yeah, especially with fish, that would be really nice. I'm just going to take some of the oil that's in here and just take it out because I don't need all of that for my chicken. I can reuse this oil later for something else. Let me take it right out here. Now we have our chicken breasts. So this could very comfortably feed, I would say 3 people comfortably. So we're just going to turn this around. So do you cook every day, Barbara?
No, not every day, although I should, of course. I have a family and I try to cook every day, but you don't get food every day with cooking. Sometimes it's good to buy from a restaurant, or sometimes it's good to
just go out and have a meal at a good friend's home.
Fasting is very good.
Well, our house is like, our front door is a revolving door. I constantly have people coming in. And I also like to go out and eat as well.
Yes.
That's one great thing about living in Jamaica now. All over the island, the restaurants that we have here now, they've really, like, from even like 5 years ago, there's so much more variety.
So what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite kind of food?
Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be interviewing you. It's kind of hard for me to say. I love a good steak. I love fried fish. Fried escovitch fish.
Yes.
If it's done really nice and it's not dry, but it's like crispy on the outside, and when you take off the tail, oh my gosh, my mom, she fights you for the head of the fish. It's hilarious. I'm gonna add the onions to this now. I would say, I love a good salad. I can't limit myself to one thing. I'm sorry, Barbara.
I thought you were going to say, Italian.
No. I like everything. Like, I really like everything. And I'm also one of those people, if I've never tried something, I'm the first one to try it. Like, I want to try new things. And that's really something that I believe in with your children. I always tell my kids, when we go out to a restaurant, try something that you've never had before, because then you can have an informed discussion as to whether or not you like something. My son can say, I like duck in a Chinese restaurant, but I don't like it in a French restaurant, because he's had the difference and he knows that. And even if we don't have the opportunities to go out to eat all the time, try different things at home, because even if you make something and you don't particularly love it, it's one meal, the next day is another day, you try something else, and you see what happens.
The best dressed chicken is pound for pound the best value. Get a quick start with farm fresh chili packs of your favorite parts like deboned chicken breasts.
So Barbara, I think this is about ready to come out now. So I'm just going to take this out and put it directly on top of, wow, here we go. Lots of the onions and everything. Let me take out all my chicken. I'm going to take out all the chicken here and just kind of layer it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a really small amount of water and then just kind of scrape up all of the brown bits that are underneath. Now, if you don't want to just use water, you could use any type of cooking liquid that you want. Like if you wanted to have, I don't know, beer, wine,
or the
juice.
vegetables, if you cook vegetables, boil them, you can use that water.
Exactly. That's actually a really, that's a good thing to mention, that a lot of times people, when they're doing chicken stock or vegetable stock, they think it's really very, like a huge labor of love. You boil carrots, that's a vegetable stock. You boil, green peas, that's a vegetable stock. Super simple, just put it in something and freeze it.
I try not to throw away that water. I like to drink the water the vegetables have been boiled in.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've never done that before.
All the vitamins and minerals are in the water.
Oh, that's a great idea, Barbara. I never even thought about doing that. I do cook with it, but I've never thought to actually drink it.
Throw it in a little cup while you're cooking, and by the time it's cool, you just drink it.
Oh, great. I'm going to try that next time. I think I'll do that with like carrots and beets. That would taste good. Alrighty. So this here, you can see this nice little sauce that we've reduced down. All the brown bits at the bottom have come up, and then we're just going to pour this right on top. And then, all right, put this to the side. So next, tell us a little bit more about how you got into food.
all the lovely restaurants in London. I mean, it's a thing in London to go to restaurants, good restaurants, and eat.
What's your favorite restaurant that you went to when you were there?
I loved the Greek restaurants because I like things like moussaka.
Oh yes, with the lamb. Oh man.
Yes, exactly. Hummus, those things.
Yeah.
You know? And Turkish delight.
Oh, for dessert?
Yes.
You know, you don't even need to eat that. Just put it right here on your hips because it's just ooey gooey. Oh yes.
But I liked the Italian restaurants were always the places to go. And then the Chinese restaurants in Wardour Street, you know, where you'd get baskets of steamed vegetable dumplings. Really nice. But all food is nice if it's well cooked, you know?
Yeah.
It's nice to know a variety of cuisines, to taste everything. Because food is just food. I mean, you can cook potatoes this way, and you can cook potatoes that way and call it Italian or French. But it's still potatoes, you know?
That's a very profound way to look at it. I'm gonna slice some tomatoes. These are the tomatoes that I got at Coronation Market on Saturday morning. I love going down there and choosing what I want and chatting to people. And the prices there are so much better. Here, we're gonna do this. Okay. Now the last thing that your recipe called for was some grated cheese on top. So I just took some cheddar cheese. Perfect. And I'll just go ahead and grate it here with my handy little grater. Put this down.
That's good. You might need a little more.
A little bit more? All right, let me put this on top. And then this is all going to, the potatoes are gonna soak up all of the flavors. And then we're gonna get to eat. All right, let's put this down here. All right, so Barbara, can you please put this in the bottom oven there, and we will tidy up, and then we will do your tomato onion salad after.
Done.
Good.
Variety is the spice of life, as we've heard today, and our guest Barbara Blake Hanna wears many hats. She's the director of the Reggae Film Festival and invites everyone to attend a preview of the 2011 event tomorrow, Friday, February 25th, at the Legends Cafe at the Bob Marley Museum. Popcorn will be served, and the event begins at 7. Veggie time when we return with Barbara's tomato onion salad.
This little piggy retired with Scotia Bridge. This little piggy did not. Start your Scotia Bridge retirement plan today. Contact Scotia Insurance.
Now, more than ever, you can't afford to waste money. You have to make sure you get the best value for your money. With Best Dressed Chicken, one chicken goes a long way. Pound for pound, it's the best you can buy. Best Dressed Chicken, a Jamaican tradition of quality.
But you don't work here.
How about a little food vibes? Here's the date to remember. Be sure to mark March 19 on your calendar for the Best Dressed Fun in the Sun. Bring the entire family for a free day of fun, food, and fellowship. Best Dressed Fun in the Sun, March 19th at the Yui Bowl. Admission is free. All are welcome.
So I'm going to cut up these tomatoes in wedges.
Okay.
I like the shape of wedges, and they kind of
I
suck
like
up
the big bite too. I don't always like little tiny, I like the big. Nice.
Okay, yes.
So this is just tomatoes and onions, exactly what you
Just
said.
tomatoes and onions with a little touch of scallion, just for color.
Great.
Nice colors in it. I love these tomatoes. They're so fat and
I
nice.
got them at Coronation Market on Saturday morning.
You did well. You got a good
And
purchase.
because they were $40 a pound, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy like 15 pounds, and we're gonna be eating tomatoes from now until the cows
lovely.
come home because they were just so inexpensive. And I was like, so I've been making tomato sauces, I've been making bruschetta, I'm doing all of these great tomato things.
Are you freezing them?
No, I'm gonna eat them.
Yes, let's get a few of these just to...
That's a good idea, though. I could
pick
freeze
it
them.
up. Yes, well, you can do anything with them at that price. Let's do these. Yes.
Beautiful.
And we put some onion rings in there. You cut them up really nicely. Lots of onion. Lots of onion. Lots of onion rings.
I love the bite of a raw onion.
Yes.
I know it's not the best really to kiss anybody after, but if I serve Bomber the raw onions and I have the raw onions, kissing him won't be so bad because we'll both have onion breath.
And they come out sweet when you make a dressing like this.
Okay.
You know, the vinegar kind of cooks them. So we're going to put some oil.
Okay.
Nice. And about a third of that as vinegar.
Okay.
You can use lemon juice too, of course.
Oh, lemon juice. You know what? I had lemons. We should have thought about that. That's
No,
cool.
it's okay, because the vinegar is good too.
Lemons, I just want to tell you, are $80 a dozen in the market.
Oh, is that good or bad?
That's good. That was really good.
We need a little salt and a little pepper.
Okay.
Yes.
So about a teaspoon and a half of
Sugar. Yes,
All
just to keep the tomatoes sweet.
nice.
They love it. And a little tip of salt. About that much I think will do.
Okay.
And a lot
So
of
you
that
are a cook by eye.
Yes, yes, yes. And you can put in some more if you haven't got it right. You can
Right.
start again.
Yeah, that's true. Or you just keep adding till your taste. Oh, this is really, it's a pretty color too.
The sugar will really make it nice. And just pour it over.
Oh, wow. Let me just use this fork and just kind of toss it.
Got a little sugar? Please do.
Nice.
Yes.
So Barbara, this is your tomato onion salad. It's a super simple recipe for your dressing. And of course you guys can use this dressing over other vegetables on as a salad dressing. You could even use it with meat, like to marinate your meats.
Absolutely.
And beautiful.
Well, if you
Nice.
leave that for half an hour, all the onions will be transparent because the vinegar will have cooked them and the tomatoes will kind of have shimmered. Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
And it's just delicious.
The Vibes Cuisine Healthy Living Tip is brought to you by Scotia Criticare. Your health can become critical in a heartbeat.
Don't waste your veggie cooking water. The nutrient-rich liquid is full of vitamins and minerals, so use it for stock or even drink it like Barbara. If it is unsalted, you can even use it to water your plants. Remember, make food your first medicine. Here are some of Barbara's other literary releases. Rastafari, the New Creation, the first book on Rasta written by a practicing member of the faith. Joseph, a Rasta reggae fable, a novel inspired by the life of Bob Marley. And The First School, a homeschooling guide to early childhood education.
Let's just take a quick look at your book again, and I have to tell you guys, a great read. I love, I don't want to, I feel like it's spoilers. Like I don't want to say that I when you open it and you're reading about like when they got the bomb threats. I'm not going to tell anybody anything else. You guys gotta read the book. It's a really great book. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope you do very well with it. I can't wait
Thank
for the
you.
next book to come out. And of course, we invite you to come back and cook with us because you know what you're doing in here.
Thank you. I will be back. I'll come back and eat your food. Your
Oh,
food is lovely.
thank you.
Here's our meal as directed by Barbara. Superbly simple potato bake casserole and her tomato onion salad. Enjoy this one soon and be sure to check out the 2011 Reggae Film Festival.
Vibe stays fit with Gymkhana.
Music by Ayo.
Next week, Septimus sings as he cooks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, I Septimus says so. Love him. One of the song is gonna sell out.
Vibes Cuisine brought to you by Scotia Criticare. Your health can become critical in a heartbeat. And the best dressed chicken, one of the fine products from the Jamaica Broilers Group.